Hello and welcome to CSD Fantasy's first live stream. I hope everybody can hear me. I will be taking questions which start to sit on Twitter from now until the game starts in roughly 1 hour. So let's get to it. First off, we have Latavius Murray or Kenyon Drake. So let's check. Looking at the numbers, we see a better floor for Latavius Murray, better score projection, higher ceiling, with a little bit lower probability of outscoring the score projection. But since the projection is so much higher, I said let's go with Latavius Murray and let the guy on Twitter know with a picture in case he's not watching. Murray for the first question. And let's tell everybody that I am online. Okay, sorry for being out of it there a little bit. I was looking up the questions. So let's see what we got next. We got Alex Collins or Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp. So see, Collins with the higher one-game floor, Kupp with the bigger score projection, ceiling roughly the same. The probability of outscoring the projection is much higher for Alex Collins, so I like the floor in connection with the projection and the probability in favor of Collins. So I would say go with Alex Collins over Cooper Kupp. Let's send that over in case the person is not watching. What do we have next? We have a whole team. Seems to be stacked with Vikings players. So we got quarterback Drew Brees or Carson Wentz, Sean McCoy, Devontae Freeman. Those are the running backs. We got Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen, That's a nice lineup. I just made a video, if you check out more on the YouTube channel, with just those two players, where I compare Keenan Allen and Adam Thielen. Later on this, Dak Prescott. Oh, we did Davante Adams. Oh, I really like what this guy has going at wide receiver, and what his bench even better. What this team is stacked. And then we have the tight ends, Kyle Rudolph, Zach Ertz, and he only has one defense, which is Chargers, and one kicker in Greg the Leg Sirline. Okay, so what do we got here? We got, first off, we had the quarterbacks who to start. Obviously, with the probability and the projections in Wentz's favor, we have to go with Wentz. I'm gonna green marking. That's a little bit too much green. We have two running backs and yeah, one on the bench. Yeah, start the studs. Even though Freeman has been injured and McCoy hasn't been himself, or it's just getting old, hard to tell. So we don't start Jamal Williams. We have Keenan Allen, Thielen, Adams, Anderson, and Hogan. Hogan is out, if I don't recall correctly. Yes, he is out. And Robert Woods is also out. I missed that one. My bad. So yes, red mark those. He's starting 3 wide receivers. He's sitting Robbie Anderson. Is that what I would have done? No. I would start Anderson and sit Davante Adams. And lastly, Rudolph or Ertz. Ertz has the better floor, better projection, higher ceiling, and better easy with Ertz, which is actually a change from what he got going on. So let's get this one over. If you have any questions, I prefer Twitter over the YouTube chat because it's kind of hard to keep track of both chats. So like, this is my first time doing the live stream. I will get better in the future, just bear with me. Let's get this over to, who is this asking? Jermaine. So Wentz over Breeze, and lastly, start Ertz over Rudolph. Next question. That's the same question. What do we got here? We got, just remove formatting, reset, remove the players, and we're good. For next one, we got Mark Ingram, Leonard Fournette, Kenyon Drake, and is that Jeremy Hill or Tyreek Hill? I think that is Tyreek Hill. Let's do both. Isn't Jeremy Hill out for the season? Let's double check that. It's hard to keep track of everyone's injuries. He's placed on IR, yeah, that's what I thought. Let's just remove him. Yeah, he's, oh, I could have seen that right there. That's what I get. What does he need? He needs RB2 and 2 flex. So the flex players obviously Tyreek Hill and Ingram and Fournette pretty easily. So sitting Drake and playing the rest. Let's just check the live chat. Nothing so far good. As I said, you can go to Twitter, just at CSD Fantasy and put in players or full team, and I'll get to it as fast as I can. Let's do a quick update and see if we have any new questions real quick. Did I answer him? Yes, that was Jason. Oops, wrong button. We got another team from Matthew. You got Jared Goff, Drew Brees as quarterbacks, Tavius Murray, Jordan Howard, Devontae Freeman is a flex. Let's just put him there. Any more running backs? Austin Eckler. There we go. Rex Burkhead. Oh, I actually spell it. I usually do Burkhead instead of Burkhead. That makes sense. Keenan Allen. What else? Larry. That's it. Before I answer this, we're gonna take a short break. And we're back. Sorry about that. Let's see the rest of the players we had. That was the receivers. So we're at the tight ends. We have Hunter, Henry, and Evan Ingram. He's got 2 defenses in the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Los Angeles Chargers. I think he has 2 kickers too. Nope, just Greg the leg again. Let's put him in there, just in case he wants to know what he can expect from it. Okay, so Goff versus Brees. Goff has a higher ceiling. Brees is projected to score more points, but has a little lower probability. High floor. I like a high floor with my quarterback because it gives me a little safety. I don't mind being carried by my wide receivers and my running backs having a big day, but when I see my quarterback scoring 3 points, it upsets me. I prefer having a quarterback that's pretty standard, scoring 13, 14. I don't need the 26 games, but that's just my preference. So I'm gonna set. I'll play Breeze over Goff. When it comes to a running back, he needs 2. He's flexing Freeman. Let's see. I will go. Just looking at them first, I would set Howard and Freeman first, because Latavius Murray's probability and risk is not good for a lower projection than the other 2 players, and the 1-game floor is just too low. We know that McKinnon and him, they kind of split, so he's a difficult one to predict. And Eckler, same, also difficult to predict. I'm not playing him. Or Eckler. I like Burkhead. Burkhead is a guy I would put in over Latavius Murray. So we might flex Burkhead, but no, we're not gonna flex Burkhead over. It doesn't say if it's PPR, but if it's PPR, I love Fitzgerald. We might flex Burkhead over Devontae Adams, actually. Let's do that. Keenan Allen, Larry Fitz. I didn't even look at Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm gonna leave him out this lineup. Tight end, Ingram, but his projection is so low. He's projected to outscore it, and his ceiling is a little higher than Henry's, so that's good. The 1-game floor is very even. I feel like this is kind of a toss-up. But then again, Ingram, we're unsure about the quarterback situation, and we know that Henry has Rivers, so looking at it again, it's pretty much given. And then of course, we're gonna start Sirline. And now for the defenses, what do we got? 1-game floor, projection higher for Chargers. They also have a much higher ceiling and a better score. I like the Chargers. I'm starting the Chargers. He's actually already have them started. So we're sitting Goff, Murray, Eckler, Adams, Schuster, Ingram, and the Steelers. And this was Matthew. So let's let him know. That we're starting all the green marked players. Here we need from Fod. He needs. What does he need? He needs a lot of stuff. You need 2 for full point PPR. Say Jones, Martavis, Bryant, Dontrell, Inman. Did I misspell that? Dontrell Inman. There we go. Mike Wallace. You need 2 of these. I hope this is a deep league. I really do. Floors are sucky. Projections with Bryant and Wallace having the best probabilities and the highest ceilings. I'd say go with the 2 better or more known players. even though I don't have PPR ranking, I'm okay with suggesting this. Start the green market players, and good luck today. Let's see if we have any comments. We have King Cuts, Carr or McCown. Derek Carr or Josh McCown. Sorry for taking a little long cuts. I didn't have my eye on the YouTube chat. Sorry about that. By the way, welcome to CSD Fantasy's first live stream. You're the first one to comment in chat, so thank you very much. Nice to see you. Derek Carr or Josh McCown. McCown actually has the higher floor, which is just insane. Score projection also higher for McCown. Probability roughly the same. I say start Josh McCown. He is to me the better fantasy player today. So for next question, what do we have? So many places questions come in though. Did I answer that one? Yes. Okay, good. And we took that one from Matthew. Yes. He's sending in a lot of them. Seems to be the same team though, so we need one flex for Alex. Let's do like that because I really don't know how to spell Ishaya or Ishaya Crowell. I just call him Crowell. Sometimes it's difficult being a foreigner. He wants to flex one of these 3 players. Crowell has the high floor, high score projection, but extremely low probability. Same with Roberts, also extremely low probability. I say go with Jack Doyle if you want a little safety. Yeah, I'm going Doyle. Where's my green marker? There we go. I never thought I would stream or flex a tight end that is not Gronk over a running back, but hey, always a first. So Doyle over Crowell and Seth Roberts. And let's answer. Next question. That one is done. We got a full team question. Let's do this. Set my lineup. We have Drew Brees. It's a lot of Brees today. Does he have any other quarterback? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think we're gonna start him today. Jordan Howard, Christian McCaffrey, More running backs. Rex Burkett. That was it. That was not a lot of running backs on the team. AJ Green. Oops. Alshon Jeffrey. Michael Thomas. How are you able to draft those three? Oh, looking at the running backs, never mind. What else? Ted Ginn. Marquise Lee. Oof. Oh, he had Blake Bortles too. I missed that one. Are we even gonna compare? Not really. It's just gonna be, that one is pretty easy. It's going to be Breeze over. That's a little dark. It's going to be Breeze over Bortles. And then we have the tight ends. We have, and a lot of Sirline today too. Hunter Henry. And again, Evan Ingram. So we're starting Henry again. Oh, and Juju Smith-Schuster. My bad. Starting Breeze. 2 running backs. We need 2. And then we have Rex Burkett as a flex right now. McCaffrey or Burkett. He has a lot of good probability. Ceiling roughly the same. The floor is a little higher, so I like McCaffrey. Let's see if Burkett can keep his flex though. Let's see, start your studs. They're pretty high. Score predictions. I like Ginn too. Ginn is almost at Michael Thomas level. He has a little low floor though, and the probability is a little lower for his score projection, since it's 1 point lower. But still, start those 3, and then we have 2 flex positions. I'm gonna mark him red real quick so we know. So we need 2 flex. I like Ginn. And I like Schuster. But it's very close. I'd say sit Ginn this time actually. And go with Burkhead. Go with Burkhead and Schuster. Even though Schuster's projection is a little lower than Ginn. But with the probability and the ceiling, I feel safe enough to make this call. And mark these 2 in red. So we're sitting Ginn, Lee, Bortles, and Ingram. This was a fun team to do. It was a lot of thinking and not just easy calls. Even though the Bortles Breeze one is pretty straightforward. And then we wish the person good luck today. So this is just in from Monty. Monty has Greg Olsen, but he says it's not looking good at the tight end waivers. And how do I feel about Ed Dixon? So let's do a comparison between Greg Olsen then and Ed Dixon. Oof. Well, the 1 game floor for Dixon is terrible, but hey, what you gonna do? His projection isn't that bad though. Remember that Olsen's numbers are a little bit skewed since he's missed a lot of the season, so his numbers, he didn't start the season too well, and I think Cam it took him a while to get going this year. I would add roughly half a point to all of his numbers. Probability is difficult to say with that in mind, but still, I don't feel safe in starting Olsen just yet. He's still a really good player, but I feel all right with Dixon. Monty, do you have any other tight ends you want me to look at? I'll wait a little bit and keep an eye out in the chat. You can send me a whole list of players and I'll check them all if you want. And I'll check another area for questions. We have from Alex, Burkhead versus Crowell. Here we go again. I did it. It's a first for everything. And, let's move those two down so we can send all the information to Alex too. And I like Burkhead. That's just floor roughly the same. Crowell with a high projection, but 8% in reaching the projection. And remember, I look at the probability. The probability and risk are in connection. I just like to show both. So for people who might not have followed me before, it's easy to use the word risk because it's widely known, while probability is more the statistical term that I'm using because it's more correct. But I say Burkhead. I'm not sure if you're watching, Frank, or Alex. Frank, I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna send you a quick picture and tell you I prefer Burkhead over Crowell. Good luck today. We can actually let him know that I'm live in case he has more questions. Let's see what Monty says. He's taking it easy. I'm not sure. There is a little bit of a delay on the stream, but it shouldn't be bad. Let him know. Okay, so I'm testing the sound a little bit. Oh, and the stream delay is actually not too bad. On the sound sounds pretty alright. Okay, we have more questions. Corey Davis or Doug Baldwin. Josh says he wants to be the genius that starts Corey Davis breakout game. I mean, no. You can't. You might want to be the genius, but I mean, if you feel like that your team is not, that it needs something extra to win, I'll say, hey, go for it. But we know that Baldwin has that ability too. He has shown it so many times where he's like, oh, let me throw 1 touchdown and catch 2. So I'll still say go with Doug Baldwin. I don't want to be a wet blanket, but I still go will go with Doug Baldwin. Okay, a lot of questions coming in right now. I'm sorry if I'm not moving fast enough. Okay, what else do we have? Russell Wilson or Drew Brees from Chris. Wilson with the higher floor, higher projection, higher ceiling, better probability, no brainer. Russell Wilson. Let's let Chris know. I feel like Chris has had this conversation with me a couple of times this year, so hopefully he's doing well in his league, and that I've helped him out a little bit. I think he has. Yeah, he's looking at the question again. He's always looking at yards, because that's what his league is about. It's not about touchdowns. He gets 1 point per yard thrown, if I remember correctly. But still hoping that Wilson. Let's actually look. I think I have some extra numbers. I think I do. That we can check with the playoffs numbers. Don't look at that. And then go to Russell Wilson. I think he's pretty low. Yeah. There we go. No, I seem to have removed it. Okay. Too bad. Oh, here we go. Who's he playing this week? No, I have for week 14. Okay. Too bad. Where are we? Here we are. No. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm just gonna have to give you a non-yardage. And let them know that I might have it for next week. I believe Chris has been doing pretty all right. Anyway, so I'm not too stressed about him not winning. We got 15 more minutes, so let's make sure that I catch everything. Okay. Next question. Let's make sure that Monty is all right. And everybody who's watching, welcome to CSD Fantasy's first live stream. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I'm taking start sit questions or set my lineup questions, so just send them in to @CSD Fantasy on Twitter. You can also post them below in the YouTube chat where I keep an eye on. You can also DM me on Twitter, that's no problem at all. And we got another question coming up. No, that's the same. Scroll down. Scrolling. Here we go. We have from Michael, we have Mohamed Sanu, Jarek McKinnon, does he only have one R? Yes, okay. Or Tegin. What does he need? He needs one flex. Well, I'm not going McKinnon. Sanu has a pretty good floor, but lower projection. Decent probability. Their probability and projection are roughly the same, but the one game ceiling is much. This one is interesting. If I need a huge game, I'm going McKinnon. And if I need a safer game, I'm going Sanu. While against projection is a lot higher, but the probability of reaching it is a little low. This is probably the most interesting question I've got today, seeing how close the players are. I'm gonna have to tell him my thought process. I've told you, but I'm pretty sure Michael is not watching. Since this is a new thing, it's kind of difficult to adjust who's watching and who's not, even though I can see how many people are watching, and I believe he's not, so I'm gonna have to let him know my thought process. I like, and then I can summarize for you too as well. I like Sanu if you need something safe, like roughly 7 points, like it says in the score projection. So he's gonna score somewhere between 3 and 10. And McKinnon, if he thinks if he needs a huge game, but it can also be a total bust. And that I would prefer Sanu, but that's just the type of fantasy football player I am. I try to stay away from the boom or bust type players. Next question. We're running out of time. We only have 12 minutes left. We have from Steven. Here we go. Devin Funches or Stephon Diggs. Funches with a high floor. Much higher floor than Diggs. That's interesting. Score projection in favor of Diggs. Ceiling, no surprise. Probably outscoring 10.7 with 42. That's pretty beast. I'm starting Diggs. That is a good probability for that high of a projection. It's interesting to look at the Vikings wide receiver, since they've changed quarterbacks so much and they just keep producing. I kind of wish that the Cowboys had the same situation, but that's for another stream. So I'm starting Stephon Diggs in this case. Yeah, Chris just got back to me and he says that if I can fix some Chargers number for him for next week, it will be good for playoffs. So it sounds to me that he's already set. He's just playing for pride and for placement right now. He's asking about Breeze at home. I actually have a video talking about Breeze at home, and it's actually this year it's been untrue. People usually assume that he's better at home, but for fantasy he's actually scored more points on the road than at home. So let me pull that video up for Chris real quick. Before I take another question. Let's take a 25-second break before I answer the next question, so you don't have to see me staring at the screen. And we're back. So let's get a couple more questions before we get ready for the games. Let's see if we have anyone on YouTube. Nope. We have Austin Eckler or Jaquiz. Damn it. My bad. Spelling is not always what it should be. There we go. So Vinny wants to know Austin Eckler versus Jaquiz Rogers. With that ceiling and the probability, definitely Eckler. Definitely. So I think we have time for at least one or two more questions. Let's see where we can get them from. We have Joey with McKinnon. Or Devin Funches. He says PPR. I like Funches in standard. I'm saying Funches in PPR too. Okay, so at least one more question. I'm getting some short ones here, so it goes pretty quickly. Let's do a quick update. By the way, you're watching the first ever live CSD Fantasy stream. I'm glad you could be able to join us. Just a few more minutes. I'm trying to find one last question to answer before the game starts. but it seems that I've answered everyone in my inbox. We got one more from Aiden. Cooper Kupp or Lamar Miller? Floor, Miller in favor. We have the projection in Lamar Miller's favor 2, higher ceiling, same probability. When the probability is the same and the projection difference is that much higher, I'll almost always ignore the floor and the ceiling because it's just too good to be true when it's the same probability and there's so much difference in the projection. So I'm gonna go Lamar Miller to Aiden. And that's gonna be it for today's live stream. I need to set up some stuff before the game start. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's been good. We've answered a lot of questions. I didn't think I would have that much time to answer everything, but we got through it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any pointers or any feedback, feel free to hit me up at CSD Fantasy on Twitter. I hope the sound has been good. I hope the video content has been good. And I hope to see you again next week. And good luck today. And as always, the spreadsheets are dark and full of terror.